Let's talk live now to Ehud Olmert, who was Prime Minister of Israel between 2006 and 2009. He's a critic of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and has said every minute that he is Prime Minister, he is a danger to Israel. Mr. Olmert, thank you very much for talking to Newsnight. As you know, the US Secretary of State said today, according to the most respected measure of these things, 100% of the population in Gaza is at severe levels of acute food insecurity. Why do you think Israel won't let more food aid in?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I entirely subscribe to what Secretary Blinken suggested, that Israel will make every possible effort in order to provide humanitarian supplies to the hundreds of thousands of people living in Gaza, in the different parts of Gaza, so that there will not be any danger of starvation to anyone. We are fighting against terrorists. We are not fighting against the people that live in Gaza. And we have to make every possible effort in order to avoid unnecessary, terrible humanitarian effects that Secretary Blinken referred to.
Yeah. It doesn't appear to the outside world that every possible human effort is being made to avoid that. Is that fair?
Well, as I said again, you know very well, I'm not in the government. I'm not in charge.
I know. I'm asking. I'm asking what you think.
I think that there are, I believe, some logistical difficulties also. I know that we are providing humanitarian support to the people there. We should make exceptional efforts. We should make more efforts. We should make sure that everyone has the opportunity to get the necessary supplies that are needed to everyone. And if someone is not doing it, it's very sad. We have to do it. We have to fight against the terrorists. We don't have to fight against the citizens and the non-involved civilians that live there.
America is obviously Israel's strongest ally. What does it say to you as a former Prime Minister of Israel when America is criticising the Israeli government in the way it is?
Well, we are in a very bad situation altogether. As you know, a majority of the Israelis do not trust the Prime Minister and do not believe that the Prime Minister is doing what needs to be done in order to bring back the Israeli hostages and to stop the fighting. Not that the Hamas is making any particular effort to bring it to this end. But the difficulties with the United States, the opinion of the president is of enormous significance to us. The president is the friend of Israel. He has supported us all along the way. He has provided weapons and political support from the very beginning. He came to Israel to express his sympathies to the people of Israel. He met with the families of the hostages because he cares. And I think that the government should listen to what the president says and should understand the possible complexities to the interest of the state of Israel from the continuing turbulence that alienate a large part of the international community to the state of Israel without bringing any outcome that of any significance to the goals that were set for by the government of Israel. We need to fight the terrorists. We certainly don't need to fight America, and we don't need to fight the civilians, and we don't need to fight the international community.
If not Benjamin Netanyahu, who or what is going to bring this war to an end?
Well, I hope that the Israeli government will ultimately succumb to the demands and the pressures that are put by the international community. I certainly expect the American president to express his opinion in a way that will be understood by the Israeli government. And unfortunately, in as long as Netanyahu is the prime minister, we may have serious difficulties in trying to bring it to a reasonable momentum, which means that we have to think about the next step. what comes after the military confrontation. How can we change the situation so that we will try to come to some kind of a dialogue with the Palestinians?
Well, that is the
We certainly depend on the will of the Palestinians, which haven't been expressed clearly for a long time. But from the point of view of Israel, what I think we should do is to provide a political horizon so that it will be clear that after the military occupation and after the military confrontations, we are prepared to embark on negotiations for a two-state solution.
Right. And that's interesting to hear you say that. You need to come up with some kind of political horizon, particularly coming from yourself when you were a chief architect of the Israeli withdrawal from Gaza in the mid-2000s and also came close to reaching agreement on that two-state solution with the Palestinian Authority before it fell apart. You may remember President Biden's words back in October to Israel. He said justice must be done after October the 7th, of course, and the horrific Hamas massacre on people in southern Israel. But he said, I caution this, while you feel that rage, don't be consumed by it. After 9/11, we were enraged in the United States. While we sought justice and got justice, we also made mistakes. Finally, do you think Israel is making the same mistakes in Gaza that the US did in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Well, of course, the circumstances are entirely different, and I don't want to compare. I remember those terrible days of September 11th, and I, of course, can't forget and will never forget the horrible days of October, where so many Israelis were massacred in the living rooms and the bedrooms in the most brutal and atrocious manner by the murderers of Hamas. But we have, as a nation, as a people, and our leadership has to be able to think one step further, because let's assume that we will destroy Hamas completely, that none of them will remain, that all of the Hamas members of the terrorist organizations will be liquidated. We will still be left with 6 million Palestinians. And if we don't want to remain occupiers for forever, we have to have a political plan that will change this pattern that has characterized the Middle East for so many years. So there is a lot to be said about the reluctance of the Palestinians to take part in these efforts. But I look at it from the point of view of Israel. What do we need to do? How we do have to address ourselves to this? Okay. And we have to be ready to come to the political process with the Palestinians to bring back the hostages, to end the military confrontations, and to move forward to a different horizon.
Thank you.
If we will not do it, we will probably have to fight forever, which is not something that the Israeli people need or want, and this is not something that can be of any significance, positive significance to the Palestinians.
Thank you very much.
So both sides must do it.